Allow the children. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good morning to you.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Good afternoon to you.
Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun
Lórí
live.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Tonight is going to be the People's Parliament. Take a moment, read the caption of the broadcast, read the description as well, and then there is a link in the description, okay? Or check the comments if you want to be part of this tonight, right? You know what to do.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀.
Everyone should move on. The elections are over. The country must move forward. Forward to where? That's from Goodluck, Egbere Jonathan.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí
I'm
ìlú.
going to get you into the program, okay? I'm going to get you all into the, into the conversation. And then if you feel like you would like to come on the screen and share your own views on this latest developments, you are welcome. Use the link. Some are already saying from obedience to civil disobedience. You would have to choose a side. It is going to be us versus them. Who are the us? You have to figure it out. Today. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live. The GO of the Temple of Truth welcomes you to the temple tonight. The People's Parliament, for those who have participated before, it's a free platform where you are indeed free to express your own views. I mean, no matter how opposing or supporting it is, it doesn't matter. Your own view on what is going on. But to get to that, you will need to use the link in the comment section, okay, or in the description itself. And then make sure that the device you're going to use is not the same device you are using to watch this broadcast, okay? Get a separate one and go into a quiet room when it is time for the parliamentarians to come on tonight. But just before then, I am going to bring everyone up to date on the latest happenings, right? Before we will begin to bring on the parliamentarians, okay? Each parliamentarian would have at least 5 minutes to say their mind, okay? And then on to the next one, and then you yield the mic onto the next one. That is how we roll it, okay? The opinions of every one of us who is going to come on tonight, right, is yours. Mine is mine too. But if you are bold enough, at least to express your own views on the your support or disgust for what is going on in Nigeria today, you are welcome. It is as simple as that. Okay, so for those who have read the caption and then shared the broadcast, thank you. So maybe the next 1 hour, I am going to be the one kind of presenting. Then afterwards, the parliamentarians will begin to pop up on our screens. You can be that parliamentarian, anyone and everyone. I usually kind of reminds the Lagos Abobakus, the defenders of the drug baron or the drug trafficker, the certificate forger, Kolu. I always encourage them to at least join the parliament. Okay? Like, don't feel like you just want to be a keypad warrior. Okay? If you can afford it, I encourage you to also use the link. All right? And every parliamentarian that comes on, they come on their own volition. And you can be one of them instead of staying in that comment. All right? And then masturbating in public. Having said that, now let us get into it. This morning, Goodluck Egbere Jolantan was welcomed into the Asshole Rock by Kolu. He was there to congratulate him, okay, for the Supreme Court victory. And just to remind every one of us, okay, forgery. In fact, let me put it this way. For those of you who knows and have the evidence, which is pretty much everywhere in the public, of Kolu's criminality and criminal record. Okay, whether it is for forgery, drug trafficking, money laundering, sure you understand, and every other thing that you know, right? The Supreme Court of Nigeria has now legitimized forgery, perjury, and forfeiture. They've legitimized them. They've set a precedent already. Okay, and where this is headed can be like easily guessed by anybody who still has their mind, intact, so to say. So now that they've done that, there is going to be repercussions. Okay, and that is what they won't tell you, since they are those who never take responsibilities ever, right? They will eventually even blame you for what they have done. For those who believe that the judiciary have already murdered democracy in Nigeria, no, that is if you ever had anything called democracy in the first place. Okay, now here is Goodluck Egbere Jolantan at the villa, Mr. Peacemaker as usual. That was a welcome party. Then after the congratulations, okay, how are you? Then, well, other stuff. Then he came out to advise Nigerians. He has one message for peace.
Luckily, you said that you've been seeing me every day. You will see me every hour from now. I've been involved in a number of things in West Africa and in Africa. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to Kenya. On the 14th, I will be in Liberia for the rerun elections. That is what we've been doing. So I'm like a roving ambassador, seeing how we can bring peace to the sub-region, to the continent, and indeed, our country. This happened actually, it's almost like a week ago, but we couldn't. And today, it now coincided with the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday. So it was an opportunity for me to also to congratulate Mr. President, and we talked a lot about the country. And so you'll soon see me, because there are certain things we discuss, and the country must move forward. And elections are over, so we must move forward.
So with the success of the transition in Nigeria, how do you see Nigeria leading Africa?
Yes, that is what all Africans are saying. I had the program, my foundation had what we call Democracy Dialogue, and Professor Lumumba spoke. And he emphasized the need for Nigeria to take a lead in Africa. Because, yes, we have challenges economically now, but we still have what it takes to lead. And these are some of the issues I will continue to have a conversation with Mr. President, including briefing him on all my foreign programs, because they are not personal issues. As traditionally, former presidents go outside the country for this continental, regional program, even some international. You come home and you tell your president. So that's the tradition. So most of the time when you see me here, it's because of this thing that we must do. And to move Nigeria forward, to move ECOWAS forward, to move the African continent forward.
Your Excellency, with the current state of...
So for peace, you know what I mean? Yeah, even in injustice, even in fraud and all of that stuff, he has learned how to kind of play the game. Is the mistake. That guy was the mistake that gave birth to APC, Egbekegbe today. And for him to keep his own loot, himself and then his own, what do you call it? His own group, he just had to play ball with them and tell all of you that to move Nigeria forward is in your hands. Do you know that they have already started a campaign, but they've started this small So right now they are asking Atiku and Obi to congratulate Tinubu. Now Tinubu, who has been asking and then pretty much like begging for legitimacy all this while, begging for congratulations. Now, the obedient who are watching me right now have become their, of course, expected targets. You know what they are saying? They are saying that the failure of Obi to congratulate Tifnumbu has emboldened his supporters. And I mean, to continue to reject Tifnumbu, calling him not my president. Now, according to this APC, Egbekegbe, and their sewage dwellers, suffering and smiling sufferheads, those of you who fail to congratulate Tifnumbu, especially you obedient, you are going to be considered as economic saboteurs. Your criticism of Tifnumbu is going to be termed the reasons why Nigeria economy is not working. The reason why people are not investing in Nigeria. Not because, the reasons why the Nigeria Naira will continue to be devalued and devalued. Something happened today. They didn't tell you this morning. A dollar was sold for 1,321 naira. But it was at the same time when they received the tranche of $1 billion from the Afrexim Bank that promised them $3 billion 2 months ago. Immediately they got that. They quickly dispatched that 1 billion. And before noon, Naira managed to gain 116 naira against the dollar. That is the one that jumped from 150 to over 200, then to over 300, right? So pumping that money into it quickly, helped them to kind of keep it at 113 naira. Guess what? They said that it is the Supreme Court judgment that the market has reacted. The same voodoo economy of Buharinomics. Buhari and his gang, they met Nigeria Naira at 145 naira official to a dollar and 190 naira to a dollar at the parallel market. In a space of 4 years, when they started their round tripping, when they started all of the fraud with the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria Naira jumped from 190 naira at the parallel market to over 500 naira. Then they gained some money to pump in like Tinubu just did, right? So the Naira now dropped to 450 naira to a dollar. Now, so they started celebration. We told you the economy policy of Buhari is coming to work. Look at it now. The Naira has already crashed. Now, they took it to over 500. And how did they do that? Because they went borrowing for the rest of the country to go sorrowing. Then, when they couldn't find any dollars, to pump into it, why Nigeria continued to bleed economically, why they use that to kind of cover. And this money they were giving it to themselves. So not even like they're actually like putting it in Nigeria economy to themselves through subsidy here, subsidy there, dollars. They were the most people who are taking the most dollars of the forex. Not those businesses in Nigeria. If the businesses in Nigeria have been those accessing those forex for real, for production and all that, Nigeria probably would have been better. The whole borrowed money would have made meaningful difference. Bokwari said he was borrowing money, right, to build roads, to build rails, to build this and that. By the time Bokwari was done, Nigeria was in debt of over $150 billion. And guess what? Roads, rail, bridge, every other, 90% of those projects that they borrowed the money for remained uncompleted today. 90%, not even like, say, okay, 40% completed. 90% of so Nigeria became indebted. Nigeria Naira became more devalued until it got to 710 Naira. On the day Bokwari was handing over to Tinubu, Nigeria Naira was around 805, 810 Naira to a dollar. So these criminals who took you from, from frying pan to fire in 8 years, they are tapping themselves on the back and saying, if not because Bokwari's economy policies work, Nigeria Naira would have been like 2,000. They are saying that. So I told you, when Tinubu and his gang came and they met everywhere emptied. Now, let me explain this to you. That those who think majority of us who continue to out these criminals are wishing Nigeria bad. We are wishing them to fail. Listen to this. That I am exposing these criminals and telling you about their actions and the consequences of their actions does not mean that I am wishing evil on Nigeria, because wishes don't change anything, but doings. They have the capacity to do. Do you understand? So I said, the first thing Tinubu would have done, if indeed he promised you anything at all, and he wanted to be honest, was that he would tell you the damages done by Bokwari. He will start from there. That's the first honesty. And let me describe these damages. Bokwari emptied Nigeria foreign reserve. They used Nigeria foreign reserve, over $33 billion. They did not add a penny to Nigerian foreign reserve for 8 years, right? And everything they met in there, they now use that as a collateral. Nobody knows what they use the money for. Nigerian foreign reserve is now empty. This Bokwari's government that took over from Egberejo Lantan, supposedly a corrupt government, Abi, they met $7.5 billion inside the excess crude account. Excess crude account is the account created to keep any excess money made from crude oil sale in Nigeria. Okay? And how do they determine excess crude money? In Nigeria, they have something called benchmark of what they expected the crude oil to be sold for, a barrel. So they now plan their budget based on that benchmark. Example, let's say a barrel of crude oil is sold for $80. Nigeria government and their budget office will budget or have a benchmark of, let's say, $50. Just in case, if the $80 will crash or increase, it doesn't matter. Now, they will now plan their budget based on how many crude oil they will sell, and how much money they will need to make. And they will then budget based on that $50 benchmark. You see, that difference of $30 on each barrel they sell will be kept in a separate account for a raining day. In a day when Nigeria Naira or Nigeria economy will take any economic hit, you can easily go into those accounts, take those money and back your Naira by pumping them into different sector of your economy instead of going abroad to borrow them with interest rates. You won't have to go. You just go into that account, take it, pump them into your, you know what I mean? A perfect idea, and Obasanjo put that in place. When Obasanjo was leaving, the balance in the account was about $22 billion, and he handed over to Yaradua. By the time Yaradua died, the balance in the account was about 18 billion. By the time Goodluck Jonathan was going to hand over to Buhari, the balance in the account was about $7.5 billion. By the time Buhari was going to hand over to Tinubu, the balance in the account is less than $500,000 as you are watching this video now. It's less than $1 million. Nigeria, giant of Africa's excess crude account, because there was no money anymore to make success. Nigeria started bleeding from day one that these criminals took over in 2015. Nigeria was losing over 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day. We calculated that that was like about 200 million barrels of crude oil or more under this criminal. So they emptied everywhere. Then they started, they started printing money. Apart from borrowing, they started printing money. In a space of 8 years, Bokwari printed 27 trillion naira. If you change that to dollars, that is over $60 billion. That's how much Bokwari printed in 8 years. Add all of this together, Nigeria was in debt to the point that Nigeria was unable to actually pay her debt anymore. Now, Nigeria is now servicing the debt. You know what servicing the debt means? It simply means you are owing, for example, you hold 100 naira. The agreement is that you are going to be paying 22 naira every month, 24 naira every year. Now, that is your repayment plan with interest. But if you miss the payments, we are going to charge you 50 kobo. Do you understand that? It's like we are going to charge you 1/4 of what you are supposed to be paying. Now, you can no longer afford to pay, so you miss your payment. So in order for you not to violate your loan agreement, you agree to, Nigeria, giant of Africa, agrees to be servicing the debt, servicing the interest, the charges on it. The debt remained the same, and they continue to pile up and pile up. That is the country they handed over to Tinubu. But because Tinubu himself is going to do worse to all of you, everything Bokwari did is precedent. Do you understand that now? And those who know better, they can tell you where Nigeria is headed. So if they tell you that you should forget election and then everybody should move on or move forward to where is Nigeria moving to? So that same Tinubu is now giving you hope that is on lies. The ones that they have to actually do exactly what Bokwari did. They will print money. They will go everywhere for whatever they can get. Now, you see this temporary 113, be 1,100, be 1,000, even if they push it enough that they push it to 900, once that money, once that dollar they try to use to maintain it in a while is exhausted, it will take its jump again. And it is not because anybody is wishing it. It is what they are doing. You cannot be doing the same thing again and again and expect a different result. Nigeria is in a very, very bad place right now. But they are going to hold you responsible for that. One of these guys said that normally Peter Obi and Atiku, they wasted their time, they wasted everybody's time, and they should let Nigerians respect Tinubu. One of them is this Clark. I don't know if you have seen this.
Definitely not within the jurisdictional, conference of the Nigerian courts. Look, let us be honest with ourselves. Lawyers do not manufacture evidence. If evidence is available and they are aware of the evidence, their lawyers should have worked higher than what they have done now to have assembled all these facts. Failure, one, to assemble the facts at all, because they never brought these facts. And bringing these facts now at the time that the courts have, finished with the original matter, definitely they should have known that for any court in Nigeria to assume jurisdictional powers in a matter that has been declared sui juris, that has been declared as an election matter, which is governed by its own strict laws, I don't see why they could even think of bringing such a matter in directly to the Supreme Court. Their lapses are so much. They have not done a thorough, and I'm sorry to say this, I am sorry to say this, if not that this is politics we are talking about, no lawyer will be so tardy as to know what the law is, refuse to do what the law says he should do, and still believes that the law on its own can assume jurisdiction in which it is clear that it has no power to do.
So, Chief Clerk, you're saying that, apologies, you're saying that Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi had a chance, but it looks like their lawyers bungled the case. Is that what you're saying?
I am not, with due respect to you, Sheung, I am not saying they fumbled the case. What I'm saying is that they have not displayed a good sense of legal practitioners. They knew, and God bless all of us, we don't work for money alone. We work for prestige. We work on the facts, and we ensure that the law, carries the day if it has to. But where the law is not allowed to put its head up in a proceedings, it means there is another law which...
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Apologies to the original nuisance, because some people will sound like, if you call them nuisance or fools and all that, it's like you are even insulting the real fools, because theirs is even worse. And that is what they are trying to say now, that a lot of people still will see Tinubu as their president, and they're going to treat him like he's not. But they are going to bamboozle you in the coming days and weeks. Like I said, I will leave all of that to everyone during the People's Parliament. So we're going to get to that part soon. So on social media, there is this guy called Rarara. He happened to be the official, well, maybe unofficial, official, I wouldn't say, APC, Egbekegbe's musician in some part of northern Nigeria. And this guy seemed to have lived a larger-than-life lifestyle for a while under the same Bokwari. Wherever Bokwari went at the time, this Rarara is the guy that goes there to perform, sing his praises, and all of that. Then immediately, Tinubu became their presidential candidate. This same Rarara, or whatever his name is, was very much like prominent too. So this guy is now saying that he's upset that only two people worked more than him in making Tinubu president. That Tinubu has been asking people to recommend people for political position, that he also deserves to be given that same regard to appoint people inside the Tinubu's government. Is now, the Supreme Court is over now. May everybody just voice out. In fact, those who are also pretending to be who they were not, this is time for everybody to come out and ask for their own piece of cake. Share you get. Anyway, this or whatever. I'm gonna. You don't understand Hausa. I don't understand Hausa, but you will understand this if you pay attention.
Na ce zan yi jira kamar yadda muka gwamnatin Buhari, amma ba zan yi irin wancan jiran ba. Irin wancan jiran haka na jira awanni, na jira watanni, na jira shekaru har gwamnatin ta.
The same guy is now telling the world, he held a press conference and he's telling the world that Bukwari destroyed everything in Nigeria before he handed over. I didn't want to miss that out, but I'll tell you more when we listen to this.
Na ce zan yi jira kamar yadda muka gwamnatin Buhari, amma ba zan yi irin wancan jiran ba. Irin wancan jiran haka na jira awanni, na jira watanni, na jira shekaru har gwamnatin ta kare, a ƙarshe aka nemi rayuwata.
Shawaye za ka yi kenan idan ba a neme ka ba kenan, inda ka ce ba za ka yi irin wancan jiran ba.
A'a, ba wani magana tawaye ba, tawaye zan ji ba. Ai abinda ko lokacin shugaban kasa Buhari, ai me ake cewa kyautata mai zato muka yi. Amma dai na yi bakin kokari duk yadda zan yi in tarabci biya ma ga mai tawaye. Wanda ma ya je muna tare da mawaka da yawa, wasu za su bata da shi sai fara gaba da su. Saboda zan ce sun kasa ma shugaban kasa uzuri. Wala Allah na ɗauki shawara, ina da shawarwari da yawa waɗanda ya kamata in je in kai gurin Buhari ba a karɓa ba. Wannan abin ya jawo matsaloli da yawa dan ni ina jin abubuwan da ke ƙasa. Dan wannan iya kalma ya gaya min maganar da ba zai gaya ma shugaban ƙasa ba, ba zai gaya ma minista ba. Ni da na sani ya kamata ni in gaya ma minista. Minista ya gaya ma shugaban ƙasa. Wani lokacin idan ka tafi da shawara, kuskuren Buhari shine mutanen da ya ɗora ma ba su san mu da muka yi wahalar ba. To a wannan gabar ma an shiga cikin gwamnatin ana yin ministoci ko kuma an yi ministoci. Yawancin ministocin nan wasu za su ce ba sanni ba. Ka ko a gwamnatin Bola Ahmed Tinubu ka ce baka sanni ba ai kai ganganci. Saboda haka idan aka tafi haka aka ce an gama komai, ni ba a sanni ba. In je gurin minista bai ma gane waye ba sai an ce mai ai wannan wakar that son jagaba shine jagaba ya ce to thank you kai kokari zan ganka. To ani bai ni na.
See, in a nutshell, sure you get. At least you all remember jagaba shine gaba, azuaju jagaba shine gaba. That was it. I mean, that's the guy. So he's asking them that they need to take care of him more. I think this one is even funnier. Have you seen this?
An fito ana ta suka ta saboda ɗazu na yi bidiyo. Shi yasa yanzu na zo in mai da martani kuma in bayyana abin da nake nufi. Sanda kuke cikin tashin hankalin Jonathan, ba ni ne waka ba Buhari ya ci zaɓe? Ko da na ce muku ku bani kiɗan general a sama ba bani kuka yi ba? Ko ba ni ne waka ba a lokacin Buhari sai ai shekara 7 ba a sace mutum ko ɗaya ba a arewacin Najeriya. Waɗannan matan masu girgije jikinsu a cikin waƙoƙina ba dalilin su bane farashin dala ya sauka a Najeriya. Dan dai an ce yaban kai jahilci, amma da sai in ga muku cewa duk wani ci gaba da Buhari ya kawo a lokacin sa ni na ga mishi yadda ake. Kuma yanzu da nake wa Tinubu waka ba ku ga yadda abinci da
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
Somebody making a joke out of that, so I don't want to bore you with that, okay? So pretty much it. I have my parliamentarians already popping up, okay? So I don't kind of feel like holding them much longer. So I'm going to give you heads up now, okay? Which means if you are interested in joining us, the link is right there in your comment, all right? Use that, set it up. Make sure you are not using the same device, okay? And make sure the camera is on to show that you are ready. Keep your microphone mute, and then stay in a well-lit place where we can see your face. And I also appeal to you to please put on some clothes. Don't join us while you are like bare-chested and all that. We see you beforehand, so I won't admit you if you are like that, okay? Please put the video on so that we can see your full face and all that, and put it somewhere you know you be comfortable, so to say. And then we are going to get on, okay? Thank you very much. I've started seeing the parliamentarians joining, or for those who are yet to put on their own cameras, please do, so that will mean you are ready and I can bring you on, okay? So tonight on the People's Parliament, I know a lot of us have a lot to say, and many of us kind of misses out on different conversations we've had over time, where you couldn't call in, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, I've been trying to call in, I never had the chance of calling in." So because it was always so busy. People's Parliament is where you can actually join. I know things are about to go south now, and a lot of us would rather remain anonymous. I understand, but there are courageous people enough that will actually speak their minds, because at least if you won't die, you will at least speak your mind, won't you? Anyway, I am going to bring my first parliamentarian, and that's African Wahala, brother.
Yes,
everyone else to please put on their. This is what it is like, okay? The setup is when you use the link, it's going to ask you to put on your name for easy identification, and then just so African Wahala.
Yes,
Primarily, we would start when we have more than 5 who are ready. I have about 8. I don't know if they just and they just could yet. Sorry, man. Yeah. So usually on the People's Parliament, to everyone who is currently watching, you can be on the screen as well if this is your first time, and how to get in is easily described in the comments. Don't feel it is later. You may not have that chance at the last minute. Usually when people wait till like after an hour or two, they may never have a chance of getting in. This traffic could have built up there. I mean, it would have built up then, okay? So to those who are already in and ready, they have shown that they are ready. I'm going to them all, okay? Thank you very much for that. And like I said, People's Parliament is where you have a chance of sharing your views on just anything and everything, okay? And probably should get started with the first parliamentarian, who is the African Wahala. And then I've got Kenneth on the screen. So I want you to please mute your microphone. Yes, please. So that when it is your turn, you can, excuse me, you can unmute, and then we can, get on with you. So the African Wahala, how are you, Baba?
Yes, sir. I'm doing very well, my brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Please.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you, Maiyegun, for putting yourself out there. We know how risky this business is, but some people have become courageous and they've decided to speak up. No matter what it takes, we will continue to push for the end of the slavery that we find ourselves in. So I wanted to talk about the Nigerian youth population. You know, we have one of the largest birth rates in the entire world, where I believe the average woman is giving birth to 5 children or something like that. These children are the ones that are indoctrinated in primary school, secondary school, singing the national anthem, saying the national pledge. Then they grow up to be 10, 11-year-olds. They've been fully indoctrinated into believing that they have a country, that they are citizens. Now, a lot of them are the ones in the next 8 years, they are about 19 years old. They have the opportunity to vote for the first time. 2027 elections, they will participate. So when many of us are like, stop wasting your time trying to participate in another election, it's not going to yield any results. Unfortunately, we have tons of babies that are born every day, and we have them to educate. So that's the problem that we are facing. One of the problems that we are facing, where the country, the so-called country, it's not a country, but the so-called country is churning out millions of people that we have to contest against because they genuinely believe that they have a country up until they turn maybe 25. Then they realize, oh my God, this is a scam. Then it's hard to get out of the mess. So I just thought I'd put that out there for people to understand that, man, we have a lot to deal with. Finally, the only way to get out of this mess is to implement the power of the people. A couple of days ago, Princess had a very powerful speech. She was talking about the people need to go out in large numbers and protest nonstop because you can't kill millions of people. When the people go out there to protest nonstop for 60 days, for example, you have 25 million people across different regions of the country protested. The soldiers, the DSS, the police, they've already shot and killed 500 people. That's it. They'll kill 500, but the other millions of people are still there. At some point, the soldiers and the police are going to drop their weapons and join the people because that's the only power that the people have. The numbers. The only power that the people have is the numbers. So this is an opportunity for me to encourage people, speak out, and if possible, physically attend any protest or rally against this evil contraption that we find ourselves in. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Maiyegun General, salute to you, great brother. Salute to all the parliamentarians. I encourage you guys to come in, click on the StreamYard button on top, come and share your point of view. If you're an Agbadorian, come through, come and make fun of us. Come and tell us that, hey, you guys are going to cry for 8 years. No problem. Come through, come and make fun of us. We need to have that conversation. Be bold. Come and talk to us. Tell us why you're supporting your death, because that's what's going to happen. Your death is what you're supporting. Thank you so much.
God bless you, the African Wahala. Brother, stay safe. Thank you so much. That is African Wahala there. We are then going to go to Ken. Sorry, people are still kind of dropping out. I'm going to be removing some people who, for some reasons, have kept their camera off still in the background, so I can open the space for those who are trying to get on, okay? And then please stay on your screen so that will show that you are ready. I don't want to bring anybody on. We're still trying to either put on clothes or we're still trying to do other things in the background. Please. Thank you very much. Kenneth, Sir Ken, this is your face again. You are part of the parliament tonight, sir.
Yes, good evening, for the parliamentarians and everybody. It's I'm I'm just going to try and make my contribution extremely very short. If I could, I'll try and make it short. So let us look at the holistic situation for which the Nigerian state is in now. What we have is a bunch of syndicates, a bunch of very few people who are literally calling the shots, running the country the way as if they are running their own private enterprise. Even if they were running their own private enterprise, they will not run it down to the point whereby literally there is nothing in there to be salvaged. But in the case of Nigeria, as you can see, you will see that what we're experiencing is a situation whereby the Nigerian people themselves allowed this. They allowed this, and this continued to go on for a while. Now, when in this platform we keep talking about right, Nigerians are not, they are irredeemable, they are this and they are that. Yes, this is what we've been saying all along. I personally, for once, have had that experience whereby I have been to Nigeria a couple of times and I have had conversation with some of these people, and I see that even the ones that are supporting their oppressors clearly shows that they've been subjected to a life of where they can't. It's like a quagmire. They can't just get out of it. They've been placed there, kept there, and they just can't see the light. So we're dealing with something else here, people. I'm telling you, it's unimaginable. Where you have the government of the day has completely bought over almost all the institution of the state. And the institution of the state are literally at the beckon of these vampires. So for me, if you ask me what will be the solution, there are two parts here. Two parts. The first part is what we've been singing all along, that this marriage called the Nigerian state and the constitution for which they are operating, it's just not visible. Let us call this thing for what it is. That is one. The second part is that if anything is going to come out of this thing called Nigeria, for crying out loud, we have a situation whereby it is absolutely a joke, whereby it simply means that how do we have a country called Nigeria, and yet there are sections of Nigerians that they are likely not going to even smell or even take part in that country called Nigeria as a president. So to answer that second part, it simply means that If anything has to come out of it, it means the entire system really has to change on the second part. But then, on the final note, is that we're in it's a quagmire. We're in a very, very bad place. The exchange rate is 1,000 plus. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's going to go up to 2,000 or 3, the way the pace at which it's going. They're only just trying to do patch and manage to just look for money to just put into the system, just to suppress, just to counter. But for how long? That is a mystery. But we're in a very dire situation here, and I want to be positive, but unfortunately, I can't be positive when I'm looking at what the situation is telling me, and it's really sad. You were saying something some time ago, and all of a sudden I think I was calling you, and then I opened my mouth when you made that statement. Ever since then, I have gone back to the drawing board, been looking at that particular video and that particular statement, and with this decision of the Supreme Court, I just said to myself, "Hey, I think we're in a deep shit. Yeah, we're in a hole, and it takes the grace of God." But great job, Maiyegun. That's the best I can say for at this point. At the parliamentarians, best of luck, everybody.
I know. Thanks a lot for that. And that's very brilliant, by the way. So I'm going to go to the next step person, and you have a wonderful day over there, okay? So that's Kenneth. I have another kind of ready parliamentarian. So thank you so much as everyone is now kind of getting ready and joining. So I'm going to go to Sir Akinyemi Agbede. Dr. Agbede, how are you, sir? I'm going to you need to unmute yourself, sir. Yeah. Yeah, you need to unmute the microphone. That's in front there. Can you see that? And only you can do that, by the way. So, Dr. Agbede, I don't know if he's even hearing me. Oh, I am going to come back to you, sir. Okay. Let me go straight to Sir Emmanuel Eshin. Oh, he just disappeared too. Okay, hang on. Dr. Agbede is sorted. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Doctor. Can you still hear me?
Correct.
Yeah, I want to be sure that you can hear me, sir. That must be network.
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, sir. So it's your turn, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well.
It simply means he can't hear me, even though he's probably hearing me late. If you can hear me, we need to speak quicker or so than that, but it doesn't seem so. Dr. Agbede? No? We obviously have a problem with the connection, so I'm going to go to Zeus. Brother.
Can you hear me now?
Well, I'm hearing you so late, so we'll never have a good conversation like that. No.
It's already unmuted.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Well, I'm hearing you so late. Sorry, Zeus. Can you hear me? Conversation like that. If you have the Zeus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can clearly. So, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to see you again in person, Maiyegun.
Good to see you again too.
So, I have a very few things to say. What happened is what happened is a civilian coup. And this is a very simple thing to do. Put in a billionaire drug baron and a corrupt individual on the party ticket. The billionaire drug baron is a man we do not know. We don't know his name, school, parents, several forgery allegations, which have been proven, has a different date of birth, popularly known to be corrupt. The billionaire drug baron uses his stolen resources to buy party delegates as much as $30,000 per delegate. The billionaire drug baron corrupts and buys the INEC chairman, who declares him winner at 4 a.m. against any reasonable basis, putting the electoral act in the mud. They tell you to go to court. Both the appeal and Supreme Court, against all sensible litigation, maintain that the billionaire drug baron was validly elected, which goes against our constitution. He rules for 4 years. This is a bad precedent for the country, a template anyone can adopt. We tried our best. You can't expect honey from a dustbin. Enjoy the next 4 years of helplessness. We've lost our police. Through the NSAP, we've lost our judiciary. We've lost our school system. We've lost our educational system. We've lost everything that makes Nigeria a country. And I'll finally summarize by the owner of Abuad University, Ado Ekiti. He said that when he was a professor in University of Lagos, that a young man has the highest score. So when graduating, he made a first class in chemistry. He sponsored this young man to do his master's. And when this young man came back after completing his master's degree, he was like, wow, congratulations. Now I can sponsor you to go ahead and do your PhD. The young man told him no. He was like, why? The young man told him, hey, the person that I did secondary school with is now the chairman of my local government. He have different fleet of cars. He built his own house. Why am I going to do a PhD when somebody that just made only secondary school certificate is now more successful than I am? Then the professor started crying. And now he realized that the only profitable business in Nigeria is politics. And maybe I can even add the Adeboyes, the politicians, and the clergymen and the imams. These are the only profitable business in a country that we want to grow their economy. We have actually think that there's so much that we in diaspora can do so that we can clean up this mess that this wasted generation have already cost us. We can picture out a way, if there's a way we can verify people, then we can go on maybe a WhatsApp group or something where confidential, because we have to start the journey of pushing back. Our children cannot contain, and we cannot keep going Nigeria this way. This has been 60-something years of backwardness, and we cannot continue this way and allowing this wasted generation to control our destiny. Enough is enough. And I rest my case here, Maiyegun. I love you and I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much, Zeus. I do appreciate and I really love you too. Thanks a lot for that. Yes, we are going to get on to the next person. I hope it works for us at this time. Dr. Agbede.
Yes, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. How are you?
Very well,
yes,
sir.
Yes. Now that the Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that does not deter the FBI to continue their investigation concerning the CSU case. Now, could you imagine that right now the image of Nigerian abroad is very bad? due to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's forgery case. Even the Nigerian people, that is the Tinubu people, the way and manner they always use the restaurant businesses as a cover up for their organized scammers. So they also use the churches to cover up their identity fraud, forgery, cases. So for now, the FBI, they are still on it, this forgery case, and you can contact them on 1-800-225-5324. Meanwhile, all employers in America have been doing memos instructing them that whoever has Nigerian origin should and must ask a matter of security concern, let them apply for that particular job he or she is doing on their respective places. Any question to this security concern directed to FBI on 1-800-225-334. So that's the day.
Thank you. Doctor, I know we have a very bad network, by the way, but the message is still, you still managed to deliver the message. Thank you so much, sir. And you should have a very good one, okay? Dr. Agbede, that the Supreme Court in Nigeria legalized Tinubu's crimes will not stop what the world see Nigeria as. They cannot expect, I mean, somebody like me now to become image launderer for a drug dealer simply because I want to be patriotic. You're not going to expect so many of us to defend a certificate forger that we know have no real economic plan, that they have no real developmental plan or any way forward plan at all. But yes, they are always like, you know what I mean? Blame the people who are the victims of their own political decisions and all of that stuff, okay? So I have other parliamentarians. Once you finish presenting, you don't have to come back on, okay? Dr. Agbede, you know, for us to create a space for others. So that is you there. Hey. So I've got Stan. Now, Stan, I'm going to have you ready when you are, okay? But just give me a moment while I finish this, right? So we all know that, I mean, if they say the election is over, the charade is over. I mean, that would be one right thing they have said, truly, okay? Then the consequences of all of the abracadabra is about to eat everybody now. So they're going to ask you to be patriotic. They're going to ask you not to call Tinubu his real name. And they're going to actually like blame you, just like they will also spread more of this ethnic, tribal, and religious hate speeches and all that. In fact, they are going to actually do you exactly what Bukwari did you, but this time around, even worse. Okay, but well, that's me. I'm going to go to Stan. Stan, can you are you okay like that, or you need to bring the camera closer? Hang on, I think I muted or mute you.
I'm having my earphone. It's okay.
Oh, do you? Okay, brilliant. Then.
Yeah.
Now I am going to have you let you have your own shot there, okay? Because he seems to be the one who put on his camera. I have other 4 people there, and I don't even know why people do that. Okay, right? So you can watch this podcast on your.
Yes, Mr. Maiyegun, I've been following you, listening to you. This is my first time calling in and participating in the parliament. I'm calling from Dubai, UAE. You know. So the election have come and gone, as we can see, but everybody see the truth. P2B, if things were allowed to go smoothly, P2B would have, you know, carried the votes landslide. But we see all what happened. the disenfranchisement of voters in Lagos, and all the thuggery that went on. And all these whole things, why Lagos is best, is because they purposely make sure that the southeast areas where they're supposed to have seaports, airports, they don't allow those developments to go in there. Now, when you make Lagos the only comfort place and Abuja, you will see people from the far east and people from other parts of Yoruba lands concentrating in Lagos State. At the end of the day, they will be complaining. Go back to your state, but they purposely don't want to develop those states. You see? So those are the whole problems we have. And Nigeria, the way it is now, I don't think we'll have remedy. Because as we speak now, some people are suggesting to bring some like-minded people together and form a group. In that very, very group, if you ever form such thing, maybe if you have 10 people in that group, one among those 10 people will come in there to sell that very something to make money. And Tinubu, the way he is now, is a very kind of a thuggery system of governance. He's always ready to buy up the highest, pay up the highest, anybody who wants to sell out. He will always get his way in and pay off somebody to come and be a saboteur in the midst. At the end of the day, you see that the whole thing you're trying to organize will become a shamble. Using one person, like they use these two men in LP, Lamida Papa and the other useless guy. What was his name? I forgot his name.
His name.
If anyone can remind me the name of that guy.
I can tell you. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Arabambi.
Arabambi. Oh, that guy. Whenever I see him talking, I feel like I don't know how to describe him. Sometimes they will post his video on our group. I will say, this guy is a pounds. Nobody should listen to him. He's just somebody he's just an Agbadorian. He collects his money. He wants to cause confusion. You see, so Nigeria now, the way it is, because of what the Supreme Court have done, it will be hard to get the country going again, because now everybody is for sale in that very country. You collect your own share, you move on. That is nothing we can do about it. That is for the next 8 years, like you probably prophesied. Anybody who comes to stand in who are you going to vote for? At the end of the day, APC will not let the vote to be peaceful and straightforward. They will try to manipulate. So there's no way any genuine person can come up. Even those AP members in the House of Assembly, they will all decamp to APC, because now they'll be flashing them money. And that is where they are devaluating the Nigerian currency, because they're trying to buy their way through. Those monies are going to America. Last one of your video, you are saying that in the Chicago University, they wanted to have a press conference, the people of Nadeko, and they said the place had been taken over. I think 2 days ago video. Don't be surprised that those Nigerian money is being what they exchange to dollar and went there to make sure they disorganize whatever program they're holding against Tinubu there and pay people off to cause problem. And that very Nigerian naira keep going down, because this man is trying to buy legitimacy with money. And he keeps spending that money while people are suffering. So the only thing he does there is, if you pose an opposition to him, he will pay you off. And the poor people will keep suffering. So how can a country go forward in that kind of situation? It seems it's very, very difficult to move on that. That was why sometimes we would try to support the madness coming from the side of Mr. Simon Ekpa, because for him, he's not listening. He just wants to mess up everything, because the way the country is going, if you compromise with them, you don't know what you get at the end of the day. So let everybody just get mad and scatter the whole thing until we come to realize that regional governance is the best way to go. And that is the best solution for this very madness. Otherwise, there is nothing else. Central government cannot fix it. Tinubu is employing all his colleagues and cronies and people who supported him to seize power. So he's not going to have the time to develop anywhere. Look at the roads, southeast, southwest connection roads. All of them are very dilapidated. Nobody is maintaining them. Fashola was there. They just want to make sure that the money they stole during Buhari regime, nobody queries them about that. And they'll keep on cashing in. So to what ends? So the country is gone. There is no remedy. There is no remedy. And the only thing is that if we can get if we can get people maybe in the middle belt to be as mad as Simon Ekpa, then get a mad person in Yoruba land as mad of like Simon Ekpa, then we all join hands together and cut off the whole thing. At the end of the day, you see that these very politicians are very few. We'll get them to their knees and we'll come to negotiation table. And the country will be divided regionally. You know? That's the only solution I see in this. Otherwise, no any negotiation. If you bring reasonable people to the table, they will bribe half of them, then you will see yourself standing alone. So it's nonsense. It cannot work that way.
Bless you.
So that is the way I view it.
Thank you
So,
very
Maiyegun, keep on going. You are watching. Sometimes I hope he's allowed to download your video from YouTube, because sometimes my time here is past 12 midnight. So what I do the next day, I download it. When I go to the gym, I use it for my workout. I hope he's allowed to download. You know, I'm committing offense doing that.
You very much stand for all this support, because I could feel every bit of them anyway. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. God bless.
So I am kind of feeling like people are not listening to me. And when people are not listening to me on the simple instruction, I just feel like, it's not really good. And it's a time for me to probably just change the whole thing and then I go a different direction. What do I mean? I currently have about 5 other parliamentarians here that put up, they actually removed their video. They are there. And it's like they just put that on to just watch me through the StreamYard, or just forgot that they were actually planning to join this broadcast. So, you need to put your video on, okay? If you want to be part of this tonight. Indeed, everybody should get ready for what is coming, and you need to take a position, okay? The last time, just a few minutes or so ago, when just before we came on, I was reading where they were telling Tinubu that if he has anything to actually really offer anybody, he should begin to talk about a restructuring of Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Somebody will not get legitimacy, that maybe he can use that to warm his way to the heart of a lot of people who have distanced themselves from Nigeria. So restructuring. Have you forgotten that the shitty man already told you, restructuring my puts, okay? They are just going to paint pictures for you, the pictures of Nigeria of Elon Musk. And then they will now give you the Nigeria of Assad in Syria. Sure you understand? Because Nigeria is already structured the way the owners of Nigeria wanted it to be. I saw some of my own people a few days ago, Yorubas, who are like, Tinubu could surprise everybody. You know, Nigerians love to create imagination, no go kill majority of you. And that is so kind of sad, I have to say, because your imaginations are always the imagination of what you wish the ruiners of Nigeria are thinking. Do you understand? And wishes don't pay bills. Wishes don't fix economy. Wishes, right, don't provide security. Actions does. Do you get that now? So these criminals are made it so hard for the majority of you that in their failure, you are imagining for them. Okay? You're imagining things for them and be like, if they said they can, only if they can just try that. Only if they can. No. It is going to be a gruesome, grueling 4 years and extended for 8 years. They're already saying that. A lot of you will learn what a state capture truly means. A lot of you will understand what a year means in your life. Talk of 4 years and 8 years, okay? 24 years ago, some of those who are in Nigeria today were not born 24 years ago, or probably were born. Well, some of them were not. Today, the country that had no plan for you have stolen 24 years of your life. If you are 24 years and below, watching my video right now, you have grown up to know what is called hustling. hustling for survival, do anything you can. Well, the Supreme Court of Nigeria did something yesterday. They sort of destroyed everything that majority of us who were the generation before yours were told. Do you understand? You have to do everything legitimacy. I mean, legitimately. You have to earn everything by merit. That was the moment people were proud of their own achievement because they make their resources in a clean way. They are not so greedy and selfish. And they were like, you know what I mean? You go see Papa they work, Mama they teach. Papa they do civil service here as an engineer or something. Mama is you know, a midwife or a nurse or something. So at the end of the day, they lived moderately in different parts of that country at the time, and they raised their children. Well, unfortunately, they raised their children to be godly. And whether you want to be a Muslim or you want to be a Christian, you need to go to school. You need to get your certificate. You must earn it. You must merit it. And if you merit the best grade, I mean, if you earn the best grade as merit, you will merit a good job. And just like that, the society was supposed to be built. Now, somebody who forged his own certificate, who never went to any school, forged his own certificate. Somebody who was a drug dealer, money back for the drug dealers, an accountant to the drug dealers, heroin trafficker, is the president of Nigeria today. And majority of you who were kind of thought to do things legitimately, rightly, follow this and that. Today, you now know that it is a pure waste of time. Going to school before you achieve anything depends on what you want to really achieve. This society stereotyping of, you know, they have all come back to be a lie. And that is the consequences of what you are about to face in Nigeria. Unfortunately, all of us would have to face that. Get what I mean? So what I'm going to do is that I want to say a big thank you to everyone. It might be surprising. Like I said, when people don't kind of follow the simple rules, it simply means that their heart is not there. Okay. So in order to save the rest of your evening and all that, okay, I'm going to call it a night now. And the reason for that is because I kind of came on to get everyone to be part of the People's Parliament before the end of the month. But if I can't, I mean, I have actually given time, okay? So which means the plan was for everybody to come and express themselves. And it is probably not going to work for them now. I kind of feel like it is also too early. Let me say this before I go. Don't leave yet. I know that, you know, during the Buhari time, there were so many people that could have spoken out. But because of the fear of what will happen to them or what they are likely going to do to their... Some people who are like not really any threat, Nigerians became so scared, okay, of what would happen to them if they speak about Buhari. Somebody who, if you say something, DSS will pick you up. So a lot of people are very kind of cautious, okay? They prefer to discuss the issue of Nigeria in hushed tones, even when they live abroad. On Maiyegun's diary political, over time, I managed to get people to live over that fear. Like it became something like, what is the worst that can happen? People didn't give a damn, right? But nevertheless, the fear was there. I've had people who appeared on Maiyegun's diary, political people's parliament, even people who called in, who have told me that after they appeared on Maiyegun's diary, political people were calling them. So Yusuf, you have joined the Maiyegun's disciples, Abi. Yusuf, I saw you on that. You better be careful. That Maiyegun guy, you don't go and you know, don't go and try to be like him. Be very careful. This Nigeria issue, don't let them kill you. People have told me that. But you know one thing, this start of Tinubu is so even going to be worse. And personally, I am beginning to feel like maybe for people to take a grasp of what has just happened to Nigeria and what they have to live with for the next 4 years, there are people like us who have signed up that, right, anything can happen to us. But before anything happened to me, I will leave the footprint of me telling those who care to listen that if anything, that those who are victims of Nigeria today is because their own time has come. Everybody's time is going to come. We're all going to, as long as Nigeria continues to exist, we are all waiting, waiting victims. Sure, you understand? So people like me has kind of signed up for that. If I they go for road now and then grab me, hear from me for a few hours, I have already written my own, what do you call it? Amber Alert News. Agbeke knows what to do. She has access to all my social media platform. She has the exact message, word for word, what to share and tell everybody that I will know. Do you understand that? Which means prepared. So, it took time before people could boldly say. You can still see on Maiyegun's Diary Political where people will be like, I don't want to mention my name because everybody was kind of being careful. But I know that of Tinubu is even going to be worse. So if a lot of you are still being cautious, I understand. Because anytime, the moment you appear on Maiyegun's Diary Political, that is it. It's a diary. You will never come back and say, hello, Maiyegun. Sorry, is there a way you can help me delete that your people's parliament? I have been receiving this. You know what I mean? It will never happen. That is why I said, when you come on here, if you are bold enough, and that's why I appreciate everybody who has featured on Maiyegun's Diary Political People's Parliament. Okay? Those are the people who have grasped it. A lot of people don't have the full understanding what is going to happen. So I understand that, but I wasn't expecting it to be this early. That you will begin to look at that, or maybe I am wrong, maybe not. So now there are about 6 of my parliamentarians who joined earlier that I said they didn't put on their camera, and I'm not going to put you on. If you don't put on the camera, you are not going to speak with your camera off. You would have to put that camera on. Out of them, about 3 of them has already changed their mind. They've left the studio. So I understand. You understand me now? I get time. So with time, a lot of you are going to grasp with what has just happened, right? And a lot of you will then develop your own fighting, mechanism. And then it should now be or die, not die. At least the Justice Dati Joe, what's that one his name? That one of the justices that was supposed to deliver the judgments, the Supreme Court judgment, one of them that later retired, he retired yesterday. In his retirement speech, you know what he said? He said he joined the noble legal profession and he joined the Supreme Court because he was noble and credible, not corrupt like what they have today. And he said he's leaving it now as the most derived, institution in Nigeria that people don't trust anymore. It is so corrupt that before now, to become a justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, you have to earn it. It's by merit. That now he's leaving the judiciary, he's leaving the Supreme Court of Nigeria, where to become the Supreme Court Justice of Nigeria today, it's now having the tribal, the political, the religious, family coloration. People are now making their own children judges. They are now appointing their own wives, their girlfriends, their sons and all that as judges and justices of Nigerian courts. They are appointing people because of where they come from, tribe, religion, and all of that. And because of where those others comes from areas where they have already had those kind of prejudices against them, like the Igbos. As we speak today, they have 10 Nigerian Supreme Court justices now instead of 21. Okay, now they need to fill that up with 11. They will be filled up by people who are members or family members, relatives, political members of some of these APC, all rubbished. Now it took this man 20-something years to say that. And it was the day he was bowing out. That's when he said the judiciary should look into itself because it's now the most corrupt, the most untrusted. That's one of the justices that retired yesterday. Sure, you understand? So there is no way you have a country run that way and expect a positive growth or forward development. No, you can't. And you cannot wish for them. So that is why whatever it's going to take, there are people like us that will never stop talking. Maiyegun won't stop talking. I would never stop talking, even if it has to be just one person listening. And I know my disciples too, they will never spreading the message that Nigeria cannot be rescued. The criminals have scammed and duped you, and they will use the same technique, the same way to oppress and suppress you. They are waiting for anybody to call on any protests now so that they can unleash their terror on you. That is why, that is why I said that what we need is the continued mental revolution. It won't take time. A lot of people that you are seeing today, oh my God, why do they always do this? I mean, before your election, I told you, I said, majority of us who were claiming to be so angry with Nigeria, and we want Nigeria to just let us go, have a conversation around a different paths, go our separate ways, or have our own different regional autonomy and all that. The moment the charade election started, majority of them turned against us. It took us 18 months for them to also realize what we saw when we said Nigeria could not be helped. But do not don't make any mistake that, of course, a lot of people have discovered that Nigeria cannot be helped. That doesn't mean that they are willing and ready to actually try something new or something different, right? Because Nigerians are conditioned in a way that they won't try anything outside the real box, because if it's going to shatter the entire box, they don't want to be part of it. They don't want to be tagged as anarchists. They don't want to be tagged as troublemakers. So in the process, we'll still be divided. And to whose advantage is that? To the advantage of the criminals, of course. Not be so. But nevertheless, 18 months after the old distraction and everything, a lot of people have come back with much, much better experience now. But they are still very much curious. Then after all of this, what is next? Well, we need to keep your mind watered afresh with the same information that made you believe that you could probably change Nigeria through the charade election. Now that you know you can't, that art, we must continue to water it. It's like a little flower that needs to germinate, that needs to grow strong enough to a powerful tree, right? That will indeed withstand any kind of mental manipulation, because you are about to enter the worst of the worst mental manipulation. Friends will turn against friends. They will tell you everybody who is talking about Nigeria hates Nigeria. Everybody talking about Tinubu and his crime and all the scandals that are going to envelop their criminal, their adventure. They are going to turn it around, and it's all going to end up as not about the economy, not about the people. It's going to be about religion, tribe, and you're going to watch Nigeria burn and burn and burn. And the criminals who are going to ignite that will never take responsibility. How do you fight back? A lot of people believe that we must be ready to go on the street. Of course, we must be. But there's one great weapon that we must also never neglect, which is what this platform stands for. If they ask you why do you want to go on the street when the time comes, I mean, you should be able to tell them why. The mind, the art that is able to explain and understand, that is able to understand and at the same time deceive the concept of being fooled by career criminals. And he or she knows every time you believe them or every time you give them time, you are only giving them the lifeline to keep you in that perpetuity of a slavery. Now, you know what I mean? So you need fresh, solid information that will continue to give you reasons why you must fight back. And that is what we have to do. There's going to be more. They have more resources than us. When I talk about resources here, I'm talking about money. They have more money. They control the institutions. So they have all the structure to unleash the never seen before propaganda on you. never seen before violence on us, and never seen before monumental corruption on the rest of you. Now, to maintain all of this, right, we need constant and consistent, fresh information, fresh reasons why the only resource that we have is our number. When people mention number, African Wahala was saying something about number earlier. When the people knows the power in number, and they are able, they also know how to harness that and use that, right? The game will be over. But now let me tell you that, let me explain that to you for you to understand. The population of people that are going to use their number, their strength, use their number as their strength judiciously, even without shooting a single gun. That population must be a population of well-enlightened, well-informed, well-educated population that knows that if they start, they can't stop until they get what they want. Now, to feed that population with the right information, every one of us who knows best and who knows better should always do better. Now, keep saying them, keep showing everything that people needs to know. Do not give up. They are never going to sleep or give up. They have managed to use propaganda as well as money to get themselves to where they are. They believe with the same money and propaganda, and with the little, violence added to it, threat and intimidation, they can keep everybody under check and under control. But with the level of resources that we have, talking about access to information, when you have access to them, you must spread that information. A lot of people need them for every day to survive the propaganda fraudulent Nigeria that APC, Egbekegbe, is foisting on the rest of us. I want you to remember this. That's why it is so important. People need to know why. And they need to know why they want to fight. And once they know why they want to fight, that means they already know what they are fighting for. And when they know that it is going to be them, it's going to be us or them, then they will know that surrendering, no, I think they have a word for that too. Giving up is not an option. Now you need a population that knows that when they fight, giving up is not an option. You need a population that knows that when they try to play them with religious, tribal, and ethnic deceits, you need a population that knows that none of those ever work in their favor. There is no part of Nigeria today that is not feeling the total ruins and destruction brought about the people by these criminals. No part of Nigeria that is not feeling it. Nobody. You know what I mean? Like, there is no religionist that is not feeling it. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, everyone is wallowing in that ruined economy by these criminals, and they are not even giving up. Do you get that? Where you come from or who you are doesn't really matter anymore. If you want to be honest with yourself, you need a population that knows this. You need a population that's not going to kill their brothers because they have been told that their brothers is going to, is coming to take over their religion. It's coming to take over their whatever it is. You won't kill your brother because of religion. And the politician is telling you you have to fight for that. You will not call your brother an infidel because a political jihadist sheikh told you that. Okay? You are not going to kill your own brother simply because of where they come from. You're not going to attack them. You're not going to give them up. Because giving them up is like giving your own oppressors lifeline. Because that's exactly what they want done. And they already pay people to do that for them. When you begin to attack yourselves because of where you come from, because of your religion, you are still being played. We need a population that doesn't get played by those divisive things. Because what you have in Nigeria today, now everybody is actually collecting. So that's why we said the first revolution we should all be interested in is the revolution of the mind. Nigeria and Nigerians are completely effed up. And no amount of living in denial, okay, will actually take this away from us, okay? Cherry picking what you think is right and what you think is wrong in your own world will never make any of the, we never make this world any justice for anyone. You know that. But when you have a population that is educated, that knows the consequences of enabling criminals, that knows that it is self-destructive, when you think you are doing other people, inhaling those people who are actually out to hand you. So we need that population. And to the glory of God, like I told the people, the Buharidins and the Buhari Didiris at the time, every day you wish that you would have something, at least one thing, that you'll be able to go and tell Maiyegun and say, Maiyegun, shame on you. Look at it now. Nigeria now has 24 hours electricity. Maiyegun, shame on you. Have you seen the standard of schools that are being built? 22 million children out of school. They are all back to school. Shame on you. I know a lot of you will wish that you have something to celebrate, something to be happy about. But you see the criminals that are in charge of Nigeria, they don't get joy. Every day you wish they give you something to celebrate, something that lasts. But rather than give you that, they have given you trauma, hardship, poverty. You wish. And that's why I told you, wishes don't pay bills. Actions does. I wish your criminal politicians will actually do the right thing too. Okay? Because I know what it means when these criminals do what they normally do. And I know what it means in the lives of an average person. So when I read these statistics and I see that these are not just numbers, we are talking about human lives, people's livelihood, people's businesses, people's relationships, people's families, people's children, lives being wasted and lost by these rogues, actions and inactions. So if they manage to do the right thing, personally, I'll probably be the one to tell you about it, even before you come here and say shame on you. That's the kind of shame I wouldn't mind if in your deluded mind, it is a shameful thing to ask for something better working for you. They have denied you of what is real life and good life for so long that a lot of you have no idea what that even mean. So every day they will give me reasons to come here and remind you that until we drop our differences, until you stop being stupid enough to think that you are on the side of your oppressors in order to laugh and mock those you don't like, you are self-destructing and you are destroying yourselves, destroying your lives, destroying your future, destroying Nigeria even further. You are an enabler, but it's okay. You are also going to be a victim of your own choices. It's all up to us. Every day your criminal ruiners, they give us reasons to remind you that Nigeria is not for you. It's not for any one of us. And if they care at all, if you care at all, the conversation around if Nigeria should remain a country or not, that conversation will be initiated. And the people trapped in the contraption today will be given the first time opportunity in their lifetime, in the lifetime of this fake country contraption called Nigeria, for the first time for them to decide if they actually want to be part of this. That will be the beginning of maybe a possible real life living and experience for every one of us who is still alive. But before we die, please, you will have to stop living in that denial. So thank you so much. The People's Parliament tonight is now over. And I just needed to add that as a bit of a TED talk, okay? I'm going to see you some other time. So until then, stay safe and keep it, take it easy. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary na him be number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary na him be number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Maiyegun Diary politico.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹ̀ ni kò sì mọ́ fòyà.
àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o gbogbo ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.